Hello everybody, we are back again. We're going to be continuing where we left off with the Redwall inspired Graycove. And yeah, I was going to start doing like shading and coloring and stuff from this sketch, but looking closer at it today I decided I want to clean it up a bit more before I get started, just so I really have it locked down. And I did kind of get started already on that, and I made a couple of edits between last stream and this stream. So like I changed the lantern a little bit, not very much, and I changed Griff's legs because they look like garbage. It is way too early to be telling me to save. We literally just started. So yeah, I did get started on the cleanup a little bit. I didn't get very far, obviously. So yeah, we're gonna start with that. Just tidying up some of these lines. And really solidifying it. I decided Hazel's mouth would be open just a little bit, like she's starting to say something, a warning, whatever, especially with them being all prepared like this. Yeah. I don't think it'll be too long to do the cleanup sketch. It's mostly going over old lines and just making them a little less sketchy. And yes, from what I could see from the chat before stream started, yeah, we don't want to be in your Discord. Respectfully, and no offense intended. But that feels like your space. Just change this a little bit just so it's hanging down. I've been a minute behind, I had no idea the stream started. We would have been happy to have you earlier on. Now definitely keep it that way. Yeah, I figured. That's kind of the tone I was getting from the chat. Let me just quickly pull up. I had a reference picture for this cloak. I gotta find it again. There it is. How did you guys like today's page? Hey Marshall, I don't know if Luke told you about the jet ski accident and my brother being in the hospital. He's finally out of his coma, oh my god, and is beginning to walk and hold conversations again. I am so sorry. I hope your brother is feeling better. That is very unfortunate to hear. I was talking about the page a little. It was intriguing. I think we're about to get some Russell lore. Yeah, you're about to get a lot of Russell lore. I have a really hard time drawing fabric without a strong reference. Like, it's okay, but I'm not very good at getting very natural looking folds. My brother's predicted to recover super fast. He's in rehab and physical therapy right now. Ignore that bang, I dropped my phone. Marshall, today is my birthday and I got so many great things, and the best part is that I get to watch your streams. Thank you for putting a smile on my face and giving something to look forward to. Well, that's good. Happy birthday. I am glad you get enjoyment from our streams and that it happens to line up with your birthday. That's a fun coincidence. Yo, I'm on Patreon. I'm just gonna leave it at that. You can infer my reaction just from the fact that I've seen the page. Fair enough. I think I've only gotten a comment on Coffee and Patreon from Luke so far. So it's hard to tell what your guys' reactions are. I get most of the reactions once they go up on Webtoon. I might get on the coffee soon. Cool. I'm the comment on Patreon. Oh, okay, I must have just not seen it yet. I only checked it a couple times today. I'm dinner plate, if you couldn't tell by my comment about Griff leaving a wedding ring a few pages ago. That's funny. Yeah, I think once we get to the shading and coloring for this page, we're gonna keep it in grayscale at first and add colors after the fact. I find that process is a bit better for me when I'm doing more, I guess, realistic stuff. Imagine Graycove characters looking like those zoo pal plates from the early 2000s. I don't remember what those look like. Zoo pal plates. Oh yeah. You'd see this stuff at like birthday parties and kids parties and stuff. More peculiar terms for Marshall's search history. I have a very weird search history just with like working on comic pages. And trying to be, I guess, somewhat accurate to animal behavior and biology. Hi, Norseverse. Thanks for joining us. Well, anyways, I don't know about Aunt Gladys's death. That's strange. Reference picture I'm using is so blurry. Should have gone with a better one. first decent story I ever wrote is about a monkey's paw bringing back someone's dead son as a grotesque and violent zombie in 8th grade. Solid. When Bluey first came out, I wrote lore about the fall of the Soviet Union in the Bluey universe. Okay, that's a choice. I don't like the look of this sleeve, but like I said, I've never been particularly good at drawing fabric without a strong reference. Good enough. I want to add some smaller beads in this necklace as well. Just little tiny accent ones. What the heck, non-canon necklace? Yeah. The 3 on one string, 1 on the other is the important part. Oops. A little bead is just to accent it a little. Little details I can't add to the comic because it'll make it take too long to draw. Velcar Thimble is still wondering where his Redwall drawing is. Velcar Thimble is not important enough for me to make more than the one drawing I already made of him at the moment. I like his concept a lot, but unless he actually joins the comic, I'm probably not gonna draw him again. for a long time. Man, that's another reason why I want to pledge. Apparently you colored the Velcar. I did color the Velcar. And I gave him some shading and some highlights, which I don't usually do a whole lot of with Graycove stuff. Marshall, have you remembered the name of the eye patch coyote? Yes, I did, and I mentioned it in the last short as a comment on the pinned one. Her nickname is Seth. Like, Seth. She does not like people calling her her full government name. Necklace isn't longer. It's okay, I suppose. Is she paranoid or does she not like it? Both. So Hazel's necklace beads are carved out of wood and then were painted over. So I always kind of imagine them having like little swirls and stuff kind of carved into the surface. Like very lightly, just as like a texture to it, I guess, more than anything. I don't know enough about carving to know if that would be extremely hard to do or not. But we'll add a little bit of that as a texture, I think. I've done a very minimal amount of wood carving, so I don't know how tricky that'd be to do. If you have soft wood and you have gloves on, it'd probably be relatively easy too. Okay, that's what I'm gonna go with. For one of my coworkers, I think it was Christmas or birthday, I forget, his fiance commissioned me to make him a big, like, desktop mat. I think that's what it was turned into. Anyways, a big drawing of all of the fruit, or all of his favorite fruit from One Piece? That's the one with the magic fruit, right? And this is giving me a flashback of having to draw just whirls over and over and over and over again. I just got a one-piece Funk Pop. Nice. What were the fruits? I don't remember. Like, there was quite a few. I think there was at least 30 of them. And the show had like, or has like so many. So I don't really remember. I'm just gonna add a slight edge to the cloak here so it reads a little bit better. Yeah. A, I'm not doxing Marshall's coworker's fiance's name. B, I don't even remember what it is because it's a weird name. You know, I'm not saying my coworker's name or my coworker's fiance's name. No offense, but that is none of your guys' business. I call Marshall the wife, and Marshall also calls me the wife equally. That is true, we do that. Not equally, equality. Ah, sorry, I misread. Does it even make sense? No. No, it does not. Ooh, nope, that was supposed to be an eraser. This should just be laying flat. That is the true answer. No bump, just flat. I'm overcomplicating this. Yep. Immediately better. Overthinking it. Yeah, no, I have also never played Fortnite, and it's one of my least favorite genres of game, so I'm never gonna play Fortnite. So Crispy was right, you two are 49 then? No, we're not in our 40s. Yeah, Jasper, you had me really confused for a period as to your gender because sometimes you were a dude, but you were also the wife. A dude can be wife. I remember when I was a teenager, I really, my whole friend group really liked John Mulaney, and he has a bit about calling his girlfriend at the time wife and how it felt like a powerful term, and that's always just my thought process when saying wife of like, yes, this is a powerful term of endearment, that's my wife, and I just like it more. But if I don't call him wife, I call him my partner, and those are the two terms. A teenager, Marshall, you and Jasper were 45 when John Mulaney was born. No, we weren't. John Mulaney is a lot older than us. We were 45 when John Mulaney got out of rehab, get it right. Hi guys, sorry I was busy doing side quests. Fair. The one thing about working on a really huge canvas is the saving time takes a lot longer. And I can't use any of my really cool brushes in too large of a scale, or else it lags really bad. How long have you been 17? For the past 489 years. Thank you for asking. Thank you for the reminder, Jeremy, but I saved like 1 minute ago, and because it takes so long, I'm not gonna spam the save button. Okay, yeah, I do need to check my posture. I'm sure a bit like him. Okay. Oh, Marshall, I showed some of your room design drawings to my art teacher, and he was really very impressed. Thank you. Drink your water. It's on the floor, and there's a lot of wires in the way, so it's gonna stay on the floor. Finally ranked #1. I missed the first 30 minutes. That's funny. It does have the lid of like a sippy cup. It's a truly massive water bottle though. Sippy cup lids are goated. Agreed. Is it one of those Slurpees that pops up with a little liver? Yeah. I still hate how this hand looks. I don't know how to do a realistic deer foot and also make it a hand. Those two things don't really go together. I'm just gonna do my best, I guess. I don't think I'll ever be 100% happy with it, so I'm just gonna have to settle. If anyone in the chat gets motion sick from me rotating the canvas, let me know and I will not do that. If I were not the one in control of the rotation, it would make me sick, so I get it. Just do the Bojack thing and have it be human hands covered in fur? No. I don't like the thought of that. Actually, for this one, I'm going to use this tool to make sure I'm doing perfectly round circles instead of eyeballing it and definitely getting it wrong. Okay, and then it is at a slight angle, so I'm going to tuck this side in a little bit. Should be good. And then we copy it. Her hand looks fine, hun. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Wait, no, why is it? Oh, I hate when it does that. I flipped it around. Okay, that's fine. Make it a little bit wider. something like that. There we go. Also, I'm getting rid of the moving battle backgrounds in the RPG. They eat way too much performance for just a cool visual thing. That's fair. Graycove Funko Pops win. We're definitely not a big enough company for Funko Pops to be made. That's true. Also, Jasper does not like Funko Pops. Graycove trading cards with bubblegum like old baseball cards. I don't think so. Don't think we're gonna do that. I mean, I think at one point we were looking at that, the company that puts posters onto like metal backing with magnets and stuff so you can like replace them on your wall. I forget what they're called. Because I think a website for that, like any artist, you can put them up and it was like a create on demand kind of thing display. Probably. That sounds about right. The issue is that we have to actually make a poster for that to happen, so I mean, if I ever finish this one, maybe we'll do that. As like a fun thing. I hate eyeballing things that are supposed to be symmetrical. I'm not good at it. Yeah, that's way off. I would like to do a display sometime, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think so too. The town shot at the end of chapter 1, question mark, 2, question mark. Yeah, see, I never actually finished that. Even the one in the comic, like I severely cropped it. The original image is like huge. It's really big. And like, if you look back at chapter 1, there aren't really any people in the background. Because I was rushing it. And I ran out of time. When you start selling posters, you should sell versions with Hazel and Russell's signatures. That is funny to think of, like Hazel would have some kind of like very... I feel like she'd have some like very kind of bubbly, cutesy cursive, like... Wait, how do you do... What's a cursive Z again? It's like... I can't remember. I don't know, something very like bubbly, and then Russell's would just be like, Russell. I feel like Hazel's signature would be absolutely awful. She has hoops, bro. That's a really good point. Actually, I feel like Russell would just put like, it'd be like a tag or something that's just like the shape of a fox. I don't know exactly what it'd be. Something like that. It's not an actual name. Personality-based signatures. Yeah, it's fun to think about. Why not Trundle? I would 100% do that if that were not just straight up taking it from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Oh, by the way, I saw someone decorated one of the merchants' booths in the Minecraft realm, and it's so good. I haven't looked at the Minecraft realm in months. I should probably do that. Like, I don't think I've actually been properly in it since we did the Minecraft stream. Sometimes Jasper goes in and I'll like look over his shoulder, but I just haven't really been feeling like playing Minecraft lately. And for the limited amount of time I have time for video games, I spend it on stuff I want to play. Are you a fan of anime? If you are, what is your fave? Mine's Beastars. I do. I like anime on occasion. I liked it more when I was a teenager than I do as an adult. Oh, what's my favorite? I think nostalgia wants me to say something like Inuyasha because I liked it when I was a teenager. But like rewatching it as an adult is hard. but it was like the only anime that we had on a CD when I was a kid. We had like the second Inuyasha movie, and I had zero context for any of it. And so for a really long time I thought Inuyasha was like a cat dude or something. It made zero sense to me, but I liked it. I remember really liking Blue Exorcist as a teenager. And like Soul Eater. And yeah, she was a confirmed catboy. Marshall, would you ever be interested in having Graycove translated into another language just out of curiosity? I have zero more specifics other than it could be Mandarin or Greek. I mean, that would be cool just to make it more accessible to other people. I wouldn't know how to go about doing that or finding someone to do a translation. But I definitely wouldn't be against that. Just so more people can read and enjoy it. It's looking good so far. Oh, yeah, Dandadan. We watched that a little while ago. I love Dandadan. Delicious in Dungeon was really cool. Freerun was awesome. It's like, we have watched some animes recently. I'll go in and out of being interested in anime. But I definitely watched more when I was a teenager. I watched a video recently where someone was talking about the color palette used in Dandadan, and I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. Like, we did point out some of the stuff that he had mentioned in the video, but like the way they use color theory is really interesting in Dandadan, and they use really strong colors and like complementary colors together, and like they give a lot of the characters their own signature colors that like they'll use it more in a fight if they're winning, or less if they're losing, stuff like that. And it was a really cool video. I don't remember who made the video, but I would definitely recommend looking it up if you're interested in learning more about color theory and Dandadan, I guess. But same guy who made that also has a lot of videos about Freerun. F color theory, all my homies hate color theory. Alright. LMAO, Marshall, the script of the full Graycove RPG has a lot of Dandadan writing quirks. Oh, that's fun. I saw season 2 premiere in theaters. Sick. I kind of want to watch that again now. It's been a while, but I really like that show. It's so weird. I don't think Graycove and Dandadan would be a good mix in any way, shape, or form. But that is funny. I mean, like, the way the characters talk and behave has Dandadan influence. That's fun. Very cool. I was talking more so to the person who said Graycove but Dandadan the matriarch could be Turbo Granny. We were actually talking about how you use colors in Graycove, Marshall. Your art style makes me nostalgic because the foliage colors remind me of where I grew up. Well, that's good. That was a big part of my goal when choosing the colors, especially further on as the series go, is I try to use a majority of warm colors for all the backgrounds. Obviously, except for when they're walking around at night after the hyena camp. And a few other spots. Wait, coloring page dog poker by Graycove. Yeah, that could be funny. My TV ends with I Love Lucy. I don't know what that means. My favorite show, by the way. I remember really liking I Love Lucy when I was a kid. My grandma had a box set for one of the seasons. I don't remember which one though. So I haven't seen any of them besides what she had in the box set, but I do want to watch it again eventually. I remember it being really funny. Loving a woman sounds like Marshall. I don't remember the last time I watched a show. Yeah, see, when I work from home and I spend the entirety of my day just drawing, so I listen to a lot of TV shows. And sometimes audiobooks, but I find audiobooks require slightly more attention than I can give when I'm drawing, so I'll usually put on like sitcoms or like procedural shows. So like I've been going through Criminal Minds again recently, and I have like a large selection of sitcoms that I like, and like Bob's Burgers and other cartoons and stuff, so I usually end up rewatching a lot of shows just for like the background noise. I'll listen to music too, but that usually only lasts me for a few hours throughout the day. Yeah, I've watched Bob's Burgers probably 20 times through. Which Graycove character would survive being in the hood the longest? Russell. Like, out of the main cast, Russell. Out of these three, it would be Russell, then Hazel, then Griff. And Hazel's only before Griff because she grew up with Russell. Griff immediately gets stabbed the moment he walks into the hood. Yeah. They can smell the pig on him from a mile away. Griff calls someone a hooligan and gets slimed. Slimed is probably one of the funniest pop culture shifted verbs in the universe. Griff found vaporized in Atlanta. Emotionally, I want to say it's a reference to old YTV Slime Master show where it was basically just a game show where the losers got gooped. Yeah, that show had like the weirdest intro to it. I didn't watch it very often when I was a kid, but that show was so weird. I'm very proud of my small Hazel and Griff sprites that I drew. I love the colors and I think they're cute. I agree. They look so cute, Crispy. The colors you picked are perfect for them. Like, Hazel especially, oh my god, she's so cute. Like, 10 out of 10, no notes. Google says I was right to eat my shorts. The F does Russell do if he gets mugged? Cry? Question mark. Beg? Question mark. Neither of those things. No. Does Russell have a clock in his Rari? Yeah, I can't see him getting mugged, for one. And if someone tried to, it would depend on the location. but he would have an exit strategy that I don't want to say in specifics because I was already thinking of using that for a future thing. But like, he is a very smart, small guy in a world where most people are much bigger than he is. He has an exit strategy. I don't know what Pepper said to get a 60-second ban, but I'm gonna assume it was warranted. If Russell were to get struck by a cannonball, die? He's 2 feet tall. Nah, he built different. I didn't know what candles look like. Who knows? Good enough. Russell would be an amazing rage baiter. Yeah. know I'm like halfway through drawing Hazel, but I very suddenly really want to switch to drawing Russell, but I'm going to not do that. And I already know it's because I'm getting to cloth again and I don't want to draw it, but we have to finish. Marshall, do you use a drawing tablet or do you draw with your mouse? Drawing with a mouse would be crazy work, especially because I'm using line weight, and that would be physically impossible to do with a mouse. So I am using a tablet. I have a very nice tablet that I bought as a work investment, and I have zero regrets about because it's so nice. It was very expensive, but it is very nice. And like for some, how many monies? I think it was around $1,200 when I got it, and I think that was with a sale. But I draw literally every single day for the entire day. I needed to have a nice drawing tablet. So I have a backup one that's significantly smaller, and I only use that if I am like house sitting or traveling or something and still need to work on my laptop. Oh, what did I do? Sorry. I was picking up my water bottle. I might have bumped something. Sorry. Marshall, you should do an AU where you draw the main trio with a mouse. It'll look nice next to Jasper's Griff. What did I do? I genuinely don't know what I did to cause pain. Loud? I don't know what I did that was loud though. Bass boosting cracking noises? I mean, I set down my water bottle, but it's plastic. I don't feel like it would. Maybe the mic just did that. I think so, because I didn't touch the mic and I didn't do any crackling. Maybe it's the mic. Yeah, I did not touch it. Okay, mute your mics or your speakers for just a second, and I'm gonna wiggle the cord. So this is your warning. You get 3 seconds. Okay, it has been wiggled. I gave a warning. That was me trying to fix it. I haven't been touching it. I'm very sorry. Blame Jasper, it's his mic. I know you gave a warning, I pulled it away from my ears so I didn't get deafened, but I'm telling you that that is the action that hurts. Okay. I straight up did not touch the cord, so I don't know why I did it before that. I might have bumped it the first time, but the second time I did not go anywhere near it. But I apologize for deafening you all. Maybe we need to invest in a new mic at some point, or the cord or something needs to be changed. It's okay, Marshall, not the first time I received ear damage. Yeah, same. Same, they say having not received any ear damage today. I mean, not today, but I come from a gun family. I've gotten ear damage before. Marshall and Jasper is proposing to someone, just a formal notice that you'll be self-proclaiming yourself as their wife, so it'd be weird if they didn't also do that. I feel like we were calling each other wife before we ever were engaged. It's a formal agreement to let me take all of Marshall's assets. Uh-huh. I think it'd be neat to explore the concept of Griff as like some kind of prodigy. What would he be a prodigy of? Because we haven't really given him any specific skills yet. Besides being grumpy, I guess. He's really good at that. Bootlicker prodigy. I want to write an AU where Russell is just a snotty, insufferable nerd who corrects everyone, and on one day Beatrice has enough and flies him away to the plains. There are a lot of things wrong with that, but okay. Yeah, specifically Beatrice and flying, those two things do not go together. autistic, it sounds like it should be someone who is at the maximum level of autism. Autism squared. The worst part of autism is not being able to understand social cues with my peers. Bro, I feel you. I've had at least 2 coworkers tell me when they first met me they thought I hated them. Like, not just like dislike, but straight up hated them. And I was like, no. Not at all. But that's very showing. Thank you. I am the coworker. I don't think you ever directly told me that, but like, I had 2 coworkers I can remember distinctly who told me that. I was like, okay, some of our interactions make more sense now, but that was not my thought process. I lost a pal of mine due to my lack of social awareness. It's really tough to get around. Yeah, I probably lost a few friends without fully realizing it. Ooh, that's really weird. One of my screens just went black. I'm gonna save real quick. Yeah, there's a small stutter on my side as well. One of my screens disconnected. See if it'll work if I turn it back on now. also saw a doe today. Was it Hazel? I gave it an apple just in case. Okay, yeah, the screen is not working. Oh well. It's the screen I just used for reference pictures, so it's not that important. I have 2 more to work with. Wait, no, Hazel's allergic to apples. Crispy. How could you kill her like that? Sorry, Marshall, I needed energy, so I drained it from your other monitor. Sorry. I probably don't need any of my reference pictures. Like, I have 3 screens going. I have the one I'm drawing on, the one that has like the chat and stream stuff open, and then I was using the 3rd screen for my reference pictures. So I can open it on the stream one and just keep it a bit smaller so I can still see the chat. Bro, you better believe our electrical bill is staggering. Okay, it's not that bad, and I don't use the 3rd screen all the time. You have no idea how much it is, I never tell you. That is true, you don't tell me. I just give you bill money once a month. We pay $4,000 a month on electricity just to support Marshall's fiendish misuse of 17 monitors. If you can't tell, he is joking. We don't even own 17 monitors. Marshall, don't forget to wind the music box, or else I will come out of my box and start drawing Griff Chair 2. I don't know what that means. Marshall, are you making an effort to get diagnosed as of now? No, because I don't see, for myself, I don't see the point in doing that. If they were to give me, like, some kind of, like, medication or something, then maybe, not that I need medication, but, like, if I would only get diagnosed if I would get something out of it, and there's nothing I would really get out of it. Whether I'm autistic or not, if I find coping mechanisms helpful that work for autistic people, then it's gonna be helpful either way, you know? And, like, I make it fair, like, I don't, obviously, if I'm meeting someone, I don't start the conversation with, I'm autistic, and if it's brought up in conversation, I always mention, like, I've never been diagnosed, but this is just something I've looked into, and I've noticed a lot of patterns, so chances are I have it at least a little bit. It is also something that is very noticeable in a lot of family members on one side of the family, and I've had very long conversations with a cousin who is diagnosed, I think, ADHD, and like we've had really long, good conversations about it, and about other family members that we've noticed signs in but are older and don't think they have it, and we're not going to bring it up to them. But yeah, just for myself, like, I understand the value in getting diagnosed, obviously. But just for myself, I don't think it would make a big difference in my life. So I just don't bother, and it can be a long process that can be hard to get into, and I would rather that spot go to someone who needs to have that diagnosis, that confirmation. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Actually, I do need that reference picture back because there's like veins and muscles and stuff in the deer's leg that I can't remember off the top of my head. Okay, so there's a bump about here, or no, about here? Looks like a joint maybe? It's not really how doctor's appointments work, but your heart is in the right place. No, like, if you're going to a specific person who deals with the, who deals with doing that, and they're very booked up, because I've heard that can't be the case sometimes, then why waste someone else's appointment slot? Just when, again, I don't think having a diagnosis would really make a substantial difference in my life. I am still going to do the things I do and not do the things I don't do. That's the most autistic overthinker self-report I've ever heard. Yeah, alright. And that's why I don't need a doctor. Yeah, that looks close enough to being right. Ugh, I still have to do her cloak. Okay, I've been doing this as more of a sketchy line art kind of thing, because I don't want to do specifically line art, but for this we're bumping the smoothing up real high and just doing one straight line down like this. I'm not sketching out these very long lines. sounds like you've had a lot of time to think about it with people that are familiar with it, obviously, or not intent on bringing it up to every person you meet, so yeah, probably will make a huge difference. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. And like I said, if I find some kind of coping mechanism that is popular with autistic people also happens to work for me and I'm not autistic, I'm still making my life easier by using said coping mechanisms or just being able to recognize like sensory issues and things like that. Hello there, M.A. Marshall. I'm Moon, she, her, by the way. How are you doing today? Very good. Thank you for joining the stream. I have seasonal depression. While it usually happens in colder months, it has happened in summer. It is the worst. Yeah. Seasonal depression sucks. Reading the symptoms or signs of mild to moderate autism. It just sounds like intelligent people with hobbies that don't like to hang out in large crowds sometimes and don't like loud noises. Yeah, that is a part of it. M.A. Marshall, mind if I ask what your pronouns are? They, them. But if I'm called other pronouns, I'm not nitpicky, I don't care. Okay, I can get rid of that. And I need my other picture now, and I don't know where I put it. There it is. Do you mind if I ask how old you were when you realized that you're non-binary? It's fine if not, I'm just curious. I don't really remember, maybe like early 20s? I don't think non-binary was, or maybe high school, I think, cause like, I don't think early high school, like non-binary was really talked about a whole lot, in the like LGBTQ spaces I had seen and been in. Like Marshall physically cannot hear me when other voices are present, even if they're relatively quiet. Yeah, if, you know, auditory processing and, I get a lot of sensory issues, and like even from a young age, I remember my mom telling a story of like, when you were like 2 or 3 years old, I bought you this like Snow White dress for Halloween and it was really, really expensive, but anytime I put it on you, you would just scream your head off until I took it off. And I have a very vivid memory of that dress specifically, even from a young age, and it's because it was really scratchy. That was the thing that was bothering me. And like, that wasn't the only thing, that's just like the main memory I have from being very young and having issues with clothing. And like, I'm very particular about what I wear. I didn't draw this super well. That's okay. Argel and Jasper, I relate to the fabric thing mostly with faux fur. It actually mimics real fur quite well, which I hadn't felt a furred animal until I was an adult, so it took a bit to connect it. You know, I find what bugs me is anything that kind of like catches on your skin. So like a lot of hoodies have that like inner liner that is really soft at first, and then you put it through the wash a few times and it like string like clings to it and it just gets kind of not scratchy, but like if you're running your finger on it you can feel it like kind of like tug on your dry skin, and I absolutely hate it. Yo, yeah, microfiber, worst fabric on the planet. whisper sneeze. Dry wooden spoons are the worst. I don't mind wooden spoons. Marshall water. The last time I tried to drink water, it jiggled the wire and you guys got really mad at me, so it's gonna stay where it is until we're done the stream. One thing about drawing teeth is the more... If you can have just the points and kind of taper off, it'll look better. If you have specific, like, very detailed lines between the teeth, it makes them look worse. How little space do you have on your desk? I'm using a chair to hold the microphone and my water bottle and my calendar, so I have no space on my desk. I'm about to get to that point with my desk, Marshall. Yeah, my desk is a bit on the smaller side. To be fair, it's not like a proper like office desk. It's one of those like easel desks that tilt up that I've had since I was a teenager. And it works really well, and I like this desk a lot, but it's not great for like a computer desk setup just because it is on the smaller side. I think Hazel would be more gentle and protective of special needs patients. Some animals, like horses, have a natural sense that makes them... Oh, nope. Message retracted. I think I missed the original comment about that, but yeah, if Hazel had a patient that was like a child or someone with special needs, she would definitely be more sensitive towards them. I do think she would have a level of like, for any like if Griff was her patient, she would have, I don't think she'd be like the super kind, stereotypical nice nurse, I guess, or whatever. But more of a like, nah, you're fine, slap a band-aid on it, you're good. Get out of here. She's catty. Yeah. If Russell got hurt, how would Hazel treat him? I think it depends on how he got hurt and how severe the injury was, because if it was from him being stupid, she would treat him like he was being stupid. You know? Yeah, like a sibling. But like, if he was like very hurt and it was like a genuine accident, she would obviously be a lot kinder about it. And more worried. If someone hurt him, that person would be gone in an hour thanks to Hazel. Yeah, absolutely. What about when Hazel scraped his knee in the short? Yeah, her exact reaction in the short of just like the frown and the folded arms, I think, of just like, you're fine, get out. You can slap on your own band-aid. Don't waste my time. But he's a little boy and he scraped his knee. He's older than her. Also, Marshall, what would your 3 wishes be? By now, world hunger has been made 24 times worse. I have no idea. It's one of those things where I feel like with any wish-making scenario, there's always, like, consequences to the wishes, so I'd have to, like, hire a lawyer to write out a very careful contract of the wishes in very specific wording to make sure you don't unintentionally get screwed over. My grandma just RSVP'd to our wedding with a really cute voicemail. I'll want to hear it after the stream. We've got to call her back after stream? Yeah. I mean, you might want to call her now, just because it is getting a little bit late and I don't know what your grandma's bedtime is. She'll be fine? Okay. She's old, she can sleep whenever she wants. That's like the number one old person thing to do. Yeah, but some old people go to bed really early. Marshall, I saw a drawing of Herb, Russ, and Hazel at breakfast and noticed how he was watching Russell. He looked super affectionate just looking at him. Bravo at your facial expression art. Thank you. Marshall, do you like tiramisu? If it's what I'm thinking it is, then yes. It's kind of like a spongy, slightly chocolatey, but not super chocolatey dessert, I think. It has like cocoa powder on it. Is Herb the type to be very affectionate to Russ? He seems to be that way with Hazel, but I do wonder how Russ would be about it. Yeah, he would be very affectionate to both of his kids. We haven't really seen them interact one-on-one, besides, like, him telling him to fix the fence. But yeah, he would be affectionate, obviously, towards Russell as well. I could see the way he goes about the affection being slightly different. Like, he would have different ways of spending time with each kid. Because obviously they have different interests. So I always pictured, like, one of the first things that Herb and Russell would do together when he was a kid was, like, going fishing together. Where Hazel obviously wouldn't want to go fishing. She does not eat fish. And she wouldn't like the act of fishing. Will Herb ever try dating again? Probably not. Marshall, did Herb adopt Russell after Hazel was born, or is that spoilers? That is spoilers. I noticed the coyote was in one of the shorts. Yeah, she's in a couple of the shorts. Quick ADHD thought that popped up in my head. Marshall, what is your favorite type of tea? Probably peppermint. Isn't there age gap 2 years per that drawing of the height chart? I don't remember if I put ages in the height chart. Disregard those. That was like one of my first sketches of the Graycove characters, and if there are ages on the picture, it would not be accurate. I kept to the heights on the height chart, for the most part. I don't even remember putting ages down, but if there are ages, they're wrong. Hey, what's wrong with Gressel? They're cute together. I mean, with the way we've been writing them so far, and the way we're going to write them in the future, that would be a very, very toxic relationship. I mean, write what you want. You're making your own spin of it. I am just letting you know that in the canon. But like, the point of fanfiction is to make changes to the canon, so do what you want. long thought the co-authors of the story should be shipped together, but Jasper told me I'm missing the point of shipping. Yeah, ship the fiancés. Hey Marshall, is Griff misogynistic? No. I don't think he would be, at all. Yeah, Griff has a lot of sisters and a mom and a lot of aunts and other women in his life. I can't see him being misogynistic, being raised in a setting like that. Also, because I don't want to write misogyny in my story. Misogyny and homophobia and racism don't really exist in Graycove because even if it would be quote-unquote realistic for those things to exist, we just don't really want to write that because it's lame. Yeah, we just don't want to write those themes. It's been done. You know? If I'm trying to write a fun world, why would I add things that cause me extreme rage? You know? Why would I do that when I could just not do that? How does Graycove tell time? I don't know. Looking at the sun? I haven't thought about it. Sundials? They just don't use time in day-to-day life. It's either morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I don't know, man. I'm not drunk. Tell the time. Turn the clock. I'm not drunk. Maybe they just enjoy the peaceful existence of living without time. They just ignore the concept of time. Okay then, Jarshal, can you write that into the comic? No. benevolent deity. Any further updates on plushie manufacture? Not yet. We were trying to set up a meeting with the guy, and we were hoping to have it today, but he never got back to us. So we're waiting to hear from him at the moment. I want a Velcar thimble plushie. I mean, if we go ahead with the plushie making thing, it would probably just be a Hazel one for now, and if we were to make any more, they're not gonna be Velcar thimble. He is probably last on the list. Like, we have so many characters. Like, that dude's not even in the comic. He might be in the comic later, but I'm not gonna guarantee that. Okay, so Marshall hates us confirmed. Oh, yeah, I was reaching for, it doesn't matter. I just knocked my hand into something. It didn't actually hurt. It was just an automatic response to hitting my hand on something. Ignore that. Marshall, I think you're overlooking your best option between Hazel, Griffin, Russell. You can only make one of the main three, but if you were to make a Jasper plush, a Jasper plush would really, really, really creep me out. Plus, I already have the real Jasper. Why would I want to substitute fake one? Jasper voodoo doll, but only for mild inconveniences like paper cuts and stubbed toes. Marshall, they're actually so right. A Jasper voodoo doll would be much more popular among us. No. That would also creep me out. The knowledge that people have a doll that has a resemblance to my wife. Absolutely not. Not happening. How much longer? I'm tired. How much longer do we have? About half an hour. I did think this process would be faster, but I was getting really specific with some of these sketches. We still have all of Griff's to go. In my defense, I keep getting distracted by the chat. You guys are really going off today. Did you guys not hear Jasper call Marshall their wife? Yeah, we already went through this earlier. We both like to use the term wife. Or just partner. I know their wedding date is impending. Yeah, we're getting married in October. So there's a chance in September we might be taking another break, but we'll see. I've been trying to get ahead on the comic to have a surplus of pages ready. Impending like doom. He's chubby? Who's chubby? Griff? I mean, I don't think he looks chubby in this. He's wearing armor. Will the winter coat design be relevant this year? This year? Probably not. This year, we'll be lucky if we get to chapter 8. Feet are weirdly hard to draw. Marshall, Foxclaws may be higher up than that on an actual paw. Thought I'd mention it before you move on. Yeah, I should probably look at a better reference. Let me look for one. I was having a hard time finding a good close-up. Oh yeah, you're right, you're right. I was drawing these too low. Thank you. I always appreciate the call out. I was going off of memory and a somewhat blurry picture. It should be a little bit higher up. I think that looks a little bit better. Good enough for now. Okay, on to Griff. And did I save a reference picture for his face? I feel like I didn't. Nope, I didn't. That's okay. I am gonna pull one up just to make sure I'm doing this right. Sorry, I bumped the mic again. I hope that did not cause loud sound. If it did, I'm very, very sorry. I'm sorry! It wasn't on purpose, it's right next to me. I'm so sorry. I forgot you, Marshall. Or forgive. Okay, thanks, microwave. Next time I will move it further away from me, except then you guys complain that I'm too quiet. Entire West Coast just lost power from that. Griff isn't truly fat, but I think Jack is fat. Jack is not fat. Marshall, I think you should invest in a cordless microphone if you want to retain viewership. I'm doing my best here. This is supposed to be a good microphone, so it might just be the cord that's the issue. Cable probably, yeah. I feel like I have, wait, no, never mind. The cord that I have that I'm thinking of, is for connecting, I think my keyboard to a speaker. It doesn't have the right, cable end for this. The sound was so loud it caused the McDonald's ice cream machine to work. The X behind his head kind of looks like a tongue. That's funny. Yeah, it kind of does. Griff hitting the big blip. Thank you for the reminder, Jeremy. Posture went out the window a while ago. I am in the position I am in until the stream ends in 20 minutes. Are gonna get copyright claimed in 5 minutes historically. Yeah, that's true. Let's see if we make it to the end of the stream properly. Because if I spoiled the Graycove mystery, Marshall would bury me in a pit in the woods and no one would ever find me. Yeah, probably. After working on, working on this for over 2 years, and planning it for probably longer than that, because I was working on it in college, I would be pretty pissed. Marshall, don't murder Jasper. I mean, I'm not planning on it. I would prefer not to. If you murder Jasper, it'd make me very sad. I think it would make me sadder, objectively. I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I didn't say I would die, I just said I would live in the dirt, like in BBC's Ghosts. No, it's the American Ghosts. I don't think they do the dirt in BBC Ghosts. Maybe they do, but I don't think they do. Because you haven't watched the BBC's Ghosts, Jasper. Because you said one ghost show was enough. I did ask Jasper the worm thing, like, it was longer than 2 weeks ago. I feel like I asked you a couple years ago when that was like first coming out as a thing people were asking their partners. Marshall, would you still love Hazel if she was a worm? I mean, she would be a lot easier to draw. Hazel will smash my kneecaps with a crowbar because I ate Burger King for a month straight since Burger King is unhealthy. I feel like more so she would smash your kneecaps in because in her world, eating a burger every single day would mean you murdered someone. Or probably multiple someones. I don't know how many burgers you can get from one cow. It probably depends on the cow also. Wait, what am I saying? 30 burgers would definitely not be more than one cow. Ha. Did the stream die? Are we back? Do you guys really want the music off? It's gonna be listening to me mostly sit in silence for the next 10 minutes and saying a few things while I'm drawing. just gonna keep the music on, and if it does hit us again, we're probably gonna call it a night. Because unlike last time, we're not playing a game that we want to reach the end of. Where did my reference picture go? There we go. That looks terrible. I'll deal with those weird snout spots later. Maybe we just don't start streaming music until 6:30 from now on? I guess, but then, yeah, the intro of the stream is just gonna be silence with the bus picture, but you're right in that if it's been hitting us at 9:15 consistently, then starting it at 9:30 would probably be smarter. Marshall, what would Nox from Thea think of Griff? That's kind of a tricky question because we've made... Sorry, let me just remind myself of the Nox from Thea. I think he would, like, Nox would find Griff to be a bit, like, too much of a rule follower. He wouldn't really respect that part of him, but I think besides that, he would be fine, if not just doesn't really pay him a lot of attention. There's a lot of, like, background for Nox that we don't really show in the Thea comics. But, like, Nox in the Thea comics is not really a social being. Yeah, Nox would hate bootlickers. So I don't think they would really get along super well. But again, Nox isn't the most sociable character, so I don't think he really cares for most people. Maybe we do an AU stream where it's just Hazel and Fia's outfit. I don't think that would take up the full 3 hours. Griff isn't, like, it's not bootlicker necessarily to his family, it's more so, like, to his job and, like, superiors and people of authority. He has a hard time disagreeing or standing up to them in general. He's kind of quick to just be like, to believe their word, I guess. And obviously, like, in the comic, we're seeing now that kind of shift. Especially with him yelling at the captain and his dad in the middle of town. Marshall, if the characters in Graycove summoned a demon, would it look like Nox or would it be much different? Graycove doesn't really, like, I don't think demons are a thing, so I haven't thought about it at all. I don't know. I'm asking the hard questions, yeah. The suspensions have gotten shorter over time. Yeah. Have the animals in Graycove universe, not necessarily the main cast, experimented with recreational human drugs that were left over once they went extinct? I don't think anyone would be dumb enough to purposely just take a random drug that they don't know the effects of. And I think, like, drugs have a shelf life. I don't know exactly how they deteriorate. But I don't consider weed like a human-specific drug. That's just something that grows naturally in nature. Yeah, I don't know how drugs, like, I don't know what their shelf life is, and I don't know the effects of what happens to them over time. And most of the people... Oh yeah, opium also grows naturally. That is true. I don't think they would have access to that. I don't think Canada just gets straight up opium poppies. But I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Also, the only people in Graycove is like the Red Deer family would go into human society and ruins and stuff like that and would be able to even find it, and they're not stupid, so they wouldn't mess with any human drugs that they found. Marshall, would you ever continue the story of the Misadventures of Fiat as a lightly illustrated novel rather than a comic, maybe as a Patreon benefit? We have talked about what we want to do with Misadventures of Fiat. I definitely want to do something with it, whether that's just recreating the comic panels because they're very, very old, and I don't particularly like the art style that they're in anymore. But I also wanted to expand on it and make it more of a serious story at some point. Someone did get caught with a field of 60,000 of them in Berta. That's so funny. Stream suspended again. Okay, we're done.